any feedback or comments that you would like to give or like to share with anyone who's possibly looking at joining Service Bureau Accelerator?
The feedback that I have for anybody joining Service Bureau Accelerator is to take advantage of all the resources and the tools that you have available to you, because literally you won't get it anywhere else. And you might think that you might be chasing an end goal, a profit goal, and you might even think, you know what, let me go pay somebody thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get me there. And literally all of the tools and all the information is within the portal with SBA. So I would say to just go ahead and tap into what's available to you, because they made it available to you.
Welcome to the Service Bureau Accelerator podcast, where we help tax professionals start and scale a successful service bureau.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of the Service Bureau Accelerator interview series. I am here with Ross and Ugonna. Ross, if you want to go ahead and kick things off.
Right. So, Ugonna, thanks for joining. Happy to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all today?
Very good. Very good. So, Ugonna, if you want to kick things off, and just kind of share, like, introduce yourself, to the, hundreds of thousands, millions of people who might be watching this video. But just introduce yourself real quick, share a little bit about your background in the industry, and ultimately kind of like what led you to becoming a service bureau.
All right, so my name is Ugonna. I am born and raised in Houston, Texas. So I do have a background in accounting. I did graduate with that degree. I was the type of person who got on Google and looked up the degrees that was the highest paying and said, that's the one I'm going for. And back then they said accounting was it. When they said accounting was it, I graduated, went through that whole journey, only to realize there's no money in accounting for real. Not only is there no money in accounting for real, somebody who left high school could get my job title. The competition was there, and it did not matter what the accolades were. So with that being said, that led me into the tax industry. I had no experience, no internships. I just had the volunteer income tax program, which inspired me to kind of just go with what I know, just so that I could get hired in the job market. So with that being said, I started my tax business, and it was pretty successful starting out. One thing that I started dealing with in my tax business is the fact that every time that I brought people on, I didn't know how to duplicate. I didn't know how to hire team members on or people under me who would be able to reach my goals. Not only reach my goals, but just produce. At the bare minimum, the deal was good enough for you to want to produce. You make most of the money, but you're not. That was one thing I was dealing with. Another thing that I was dealing with was a high turnover rate. Every year, I'm creating a new team. That was another thing. The third thing I was dealing with was the fact that even if I have somebody that was in my team or that was a part of my business, I felt like there was if I'm using the correct term, a bottleneck. Once you want to grow, I then look like a threat to you, or my model then looks like a threat to you. So I saw other business models who are mastering this team growth, and I heard the idea of what a service bureau was. In me trying to master it, I wind up in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where I met Tamika. Me and Tamika met in New Orleans, Louisiana for a particular service bureau masterclass where we paid $3,000 to get there and learn how to become a service bureau. And essentially when we got there, we learned in real time that you're not teaching me how to be a service bureau. You're teaching me how to be a middleman. The deal could essentially be a middleman deal if it wanted to be. It was the fact that nothing about it served my interests. It was not a benefit to my business. And I came to the table where they were telling us what the back-end fees were, what we could not change. So I could perceive all the challenges up front. I was somebody coming from using Drake software. I had never necessarily been a middleman in my own business thus far. And I don't mind making that move. Is just a matter of if you create an environment for me where I can grow and I see the path upward. That's what that situation did not give me. And in that time, me and Tamika said, you know what, let's figure it out. I remember, and the reason why to this day I have a strong affinity for email marketing is because I'm like, first off, who the hell gave them my information? But Service Bureau Accelerator is in my Email. I see them all the time. They're nurturing me. They're giving me information. And I think I don't know. I wouldn't know what this business model was called if not for seeing that in my email all along. So at the time when I had left the opportunity that I thought was going to be worth it, I remember coming across one of the emails that you all had in my inbox. I decided to go ahead and explore the opportunity. And when I did, I felt like you all catered to everything that I was looking for in my business. You guys gave me tools. You all had strategy. You all actually kind of held y'all hold our hand in the process. And essentially, instead of telling me I'm giving you software and what I cannot do, you all gave me a lot of resources and told me what I could do. That's what I was looking for in regards to service, becoming a service bureau or feeling like an owner in my business and leveling up. So that is what led me to you all today. And I have been happy ever since.
Awesome.
Wow.
Love it. Love it. I'm just like, you just answered like my like first half of all the questions. So that's perfect. So I had a question with that like the opportunity thing that you went to before with Tamika. That was that you said like middleman, just for like another term. Is that like, are you talking about like you were basically like a reseller for the service bureau, where it's like they're going to be the service bureau
Yeah,
and you're going to be like a reseller just selling their software for them
right.
basically, right?
No real master EFIN, no real control,
Yeah.
no access to the back end.
Right.
Ooh. And
Master
they charge,
Ethan.
wait, they
Yeah.
charge $3,000 to go learn about that? Fuck, man.
Just to tell me to pay for the software after. So I was really $7,000 in the hole. It's embarrassing.
So
Oh,
we gotta raise our prices then.
if you're watching this at home, you better get in before we have to readjust pricing.
Look, that's what I'm saying. Look, I'm already in, y'all. So I say y'all have my permission.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
raise them, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Look,
Make
I
it
think
more
it's time.
expensive for everyone else.
So I'm curious. Do you recall, like, do you remember what some of those deal points were? And the reason why I asked is because I know there's a lot of people. I don't know if it was like one of the recent like emails. Oh no, it's something we adjusted on our webinar this year. Was talking about a lot of people thinking they're a webinar. They're told they're a webinar. They're sold a webinar. For those of you who are listening, not watching, I'm using the little
Service
rabbit
You mean
ears.
you're saying the wrong word.
Or sorry, service bureau. They were told they were sold a service bureau. They think they're a service bureau, but then when they get down to it, like you said, it's like, oh, I'm actually just a reseller. I'm just a middleman pushing someone else's software, and I'm not the actual one in the driver's seat as a service bureau. So I know there's a lot of people like that, and like, what did those deal points look like? If you
Like,
remember, some like, did they have to
yeah.
pay per license? Like, did you have a base license fee? What was like the minimum
You can't go
markup?
below this fee, or like this
Yeah.
is what you have to sell. Like, what do you recall that if you remember?
So she gave us deal points like service bureau fee was already set at $99. I can remember distinctly that there was $250 worth of fees that were already there. She told us there was $99 per license, that we were getting 10 for free, and then $99 for right, exactly. $99 after that, $99 per license, $250 worth of back-end fees. We could not change anything.
But they gave you a piece of that depending on your volume, essentially, right?
Piece of it, yes, indeed.
Right. Right. So it's more like let's just max everything out, and then based on your performance, we'll determine how much of that you get.
Without
Yeah,
you
so
naming
max
names.
everything out. Not necessarily even based on performance. They were even teaching a business model to where it looked like we have all of this that you cannot change. This is how you make the clients pay for it. That's how they were positioning it, rather than me as a consumer. I guess my mind was still in the consumer mind frame, and me thinking,
Yeah.
why would I have all of this? How can I be charging these people this amount of money for nothing, no additional value added onto it? How, like, it just didn't seem ethical. I wanted to be able to charge a price. If I'm going to charge you $700 to $1,000 for one W-2, I want to feel like I have the value that comes behind it. That way I can do it with my chest.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And on the flip side, like you've been to, I think you were at our convention this year, right? And we talk a lot about, even on the fee side, like that's prep stuff. Like on the service bureau side, it's like charge what you're worth, obviously. But you know, we see the fees like going crazy for some people, and it's like, well, that's why you struggle with retention, right? It's issues like that. So we've fundamentally always talked about, hey, if you want to, you got to make your money, but make sure that you have your package is worth the money that you're charging.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. And make sure you're actually providing the value for it.
Another thing about stepping into becoming a service bureau that I was worried about from the beginning is that I know how I am, and especially if I could be somebody who's talking about not being a middleman, I could perceive that being a challenge for every other ERO that I would run into. So I feel like at the bare minimum, if you're not making me happy right now, how the hell am I supposed to sell this software to everybody else,
Yeah.
and grow and be where you are if I can't
Yeah.
see it for myself?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a big thing too, just on like sales psychology, like being confident in your product, right? Like if you're not confident in your product, doesn't really matter how good you are at sales. Like it's ethically, it's going to tear you apart. And it's going to be really, really hard for you to actually grow that type of business if you feel like you're just peddling some garbage, right?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking forward into working with Service Bureau Accelerator now, are you cool with like sharing a little bit of your results? Like what, like kind of some of the numbers? I've got some numbers here pulled up, but are you cool with like sharing some results, like revenue numbers, 6 figures, multiple six, like what, anything you want to share?
So without revenue numbers, I will say I'm excited that I did reach up to I'm almost touching that $1,000 number. I was like very shy of it this
The
year.
tier, 1,000 tier.
Um, in between the years of me like trying to master all the trainings or learn take the information that I know to apply it, I didn't realize that I did multiply my growth last year, from last year to this year. So I appreciate that. I feel like I would not have done it had I not been offered the resources that we do have available to us, especially talking about sales and psychology. A lot of people do not, well, a lot of people talk about sales, a lot of people sleep on the psychology part, and that was the part that I needed the most out of you guys. And I love the fact that you all have offered it because, yeah, I've been really, really interested in being able to, I guess, maybe have a predictable sale, if we'll call it
Yeah,
that.
it should be. You
It should
should
be.
know. You should know. Like, hey, one out of three, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 4. If you're at 25%, should close.
Yeah.
Right.
It,
So,
it'll get to the point too when you're talking with someone where you're like, oh, this person, like, this is such a good fit. Like I can save money, I can help them grow. And then the challenge becomes like where it's predictable. Where like this customer should buy, and then suddenly they disappear and then you're following up. Then that's when it'll throw you a little bit, where you get really confident in knowing your program, knowing your value proposition, being able to share that with a customer. They're all lit up. They're pumped. They're ready to go. And then they're like, yeah, let me send it over. I've just got to do something or whatever. And then they disappear for a while. That's where it'll test your ability to remove emotion out of it and just say, okay, this is the process. Let me just follow up. I just got to stay consistent. That happens all the time. People will ghost us for 2 months. They're like, oh, thanks so much. You finally called me. I've been dealing with blah, blah, blah. Cause we never know what's happened on the other end. So you never assume. You just
yeah.
run the playbook, and then you get those bonus ones closed towards
Especially
the
the
end
ones
of
that you follow up with year after year. Ross actually just happened to close an unclosable, or no, Charlie closed an unclosable.
I closed that the
You closed-
unclosable the other day. Yeah.
There was another,
Yes.
the other day too.
Oh, and Charlie too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were like,
Years.
when we saw
People in
that,
our pipeline
we saw
for
that
years.
come, we were like, how the fuck did you get that one done? Because he's every year we speak to this dude, never buys, and all of a sudden
We
Yeah.
need the script on that.
It's the same
It's
script.
the same script. It's
It
just
really is. What?
it's
So it was a new year, a new response. That's crazy.
No, it's just
Yeah.
the follow up. It's
It's
just
the
staying in.
consistency,
Well,
like-
like you said with the emails, right? It's like it's just there. It's just always there. We're always in front of our customers. We're always in front of them. Whether it takes, some people will see our ad, they'll click through, they'll attend a webinar, they'll get on a call, and they'll sign up. Be like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Boom, and that sales cycle is like 1 week. We'll have people where it's like 3 years. Where
Yeah,
they
no.
get on a webinar, they book a call, they're like, okay, I'll think about it. There's a follow-up call a couple months later when they're ready for it and they can't do it. And then that happens for 2-3 years. And then they finally sign up.
Yeah.
Or some people, they still haven't yet, but we're still going to email them. We'll still call them,
They may be watching this and wondering why.
you go. Yeah, that's it. So looking at, so I mean, like your numbers as well, I want to talk about that too, because from like you more than doubled from last year to this year over year, like more than doubled. And that's a really, really cool trend that we see. Like when people start to do that, that's why I'm kind of really excited to talk about this, is because we see it happen consistently, where it's like when you kind of figure out, you get the process together, you doubling again the next year becomes like it's even easier to do. not even easier. It's just the same thing. You're just kind of rinse and repeating, right? You're kind of figuring out the framework. And so I'm curious, like, what do you feel like contributed to that? Like, did you change anything in your approach? What's been your strategy? Are you just selling software? Are you developing prepares more so now and then giving them that path that you kind of talked about early on? Like, what's been your kind of playbook for that, for your growth?
So, in the recent last year, from the beginning, I did start off trying to make it like a value added software deal from the start of my business. Last year, I think I mastered. Oh, I want to say master, but I opened my business to the idea of really serving the people who come in, like really zeroing into their pain points, trying to figure out if this is what they need, how do I come in and give it to them? Not only that, providing them an infrastructure that they can depend on, where, if you're coming with me, you might not want to leave me because your water get cuts off. So essentially, being a good steward of my EROs and the people under me allow me to grow and multiply, and also opening their mind to more leadership values and things that I've learned from you all, kind of just duplicating and giving it right on back to them. One thing that I loved realizing for myself, that I struggled about it, and then I realized, if SBA could have me, why can't I have them? Because in my mind, nobody can have me. In my mind, nobody can middleman me. Nobody can, if you all could do it, I had to see what exactly was going on in this business model to make me be able to achieve the same things. And that's what I
Hmm.
zeroed in on. And like you said, to multiply once is one thing. I do definitely feel like I can do it again. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
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 No,
Just be
definitely.
consistent. Be
Yeah.
consistent on that, on what got you there. A lot of the mistake a lot of people make is they try to do new shit every year. It's
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
and so once you know, hey, this is what got me to 2x last year. All right, how do I improve on that and keep doing that and do
Yeah.
that better?
Do more of
And
it. Yeah.
and
More
that
of
was
it, faster,
definitely me.
better.
I
Yeah.
was at the drawing board every year. And now I do feel like I have something that I can just rise from.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. So I love to ask a little bit more now on, I mean, you have mentioned a lot of like some of the stuff, the training content you've gone through with like the sales, the mindset and things like that. Is there any other parts of our training program that kind of jumped out to you as like really, big parts where like the light bulb was turning on a lot, where it just like really gave you a lot more momentum or strategy or tactics to help execute? Like, is there anything that kind of jumped out in particular or just in general?
I feel like I expose my lack of common sense when I say just sell the software. It's
No, 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 no. When you come, you have no clue. It's when people come as an ERO to a service bureau, they're still thinking ERO, and it takes a lot of time to be like, oh yeah, just sell the software.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just sell the software. Also, I'm not sure if I remember you all talked about it at the convention, so I'm not sure if it was actually on the trainings, but I know at the convention when you all talked about owning metrics, that was like a big old paradigm shift for me. Owning metrics, and when you talked about the value engines,
Mhm.
because I'm a person who likes automations and all that. When I saw the value engines and I know how I was talking in regards to business structure, that fireworks once again. So yeah. Those are 2 things in addition. I'm not sure if they are on the trainings yet. I might learn soon. But
That's the
So
elite.
that's for the
That's the
elite
elite
program.
content.
okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's the elite
yeah, the
content.
elite, I hope they better get in the club. It's crazy, The information is completely different, completely different.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought that it could not get any better.
Yeah, so that's actually by design, right? So the way that Service Bureau Accelerator essentially is like, you don't Elite's a whole different element of it. So Service Bureau Accelerator, for those of you guys watching, it's how do you go and scale the Service Bureau model? And there's people that do tens of thousands of products at this point now, and or getting close to the 10,000 product mark. And it's just the same framework. What Elite kind of came in as an idea a few years ago, where people were like, hey, I don't really need to work on my offer anymore. Like, I'm struggling with this. Like, how do we help somebody go from 1,000 products to 10,000? Even though you don't need Elite for that, the conversation ends up being more about, all right, well, let's focus on how do you build your teams? How do you operate your business? Like, how do you take a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business and beyond, right? So like the conversations in Elite are a lot different. You're referencing the Elite Day at the convention, where you notice it wasn't everybody that was at the convention. It was
Yeah.
a smaller group. So yeah, and that's
Will say I feel like the information that you all gave in the elite portion of the convention definitely was multiplying information. Uh I might have the other stuff might have went above my head, or I might have said like, I'm not gonna go ahead and do all the trainings. But when you all talked about everything you all talked about there, it gave me so much more focus on. Like, I've done a lot of work since the convention because
Yeah.
I guess I worked backwards concerning the information that you all gave me.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, look, it's like sometimes it's, and the reason why we talked about a lot of that stuff, like we didn't go as like as granular as obviously with time constraints. Like there's a lot of things that we wanted to kind of do, and it was more of like let's just open your mind to these ideas and to these kind of concepts and systems, right? And I know for myself personally, like I always think back to this one mastermind event that I was at. And by the way, anyone listening, if you're not going to masterminds, if you're not investing in yourself and your growth, like you might stay stuck for many, many years. So the more you invest in yourself, the faster you can learn and grow. And that just applies with all areas of life. But I always think back to this one mastermind event that we went to where it talked about numbers and numbers compounding in your business through conversion metrics, email delivery increasing to open rate increasing to clicks increasing to registrations increasing to show increasing. And if you make these little adjustments, 2-3% here and there, by the time it goes through the entire process, you can double your results. And I just remember seeing that one concept and it like just blew my mind open where I was like, holy shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And so that's what we want to do with Elite as well, especially what we did at the convention day, where it's like, let's start blowing your minds about like all these different things and like the next stages, because it's going to start that engine going, right? It's going to start those gears turning where you're like, how do I start kind of doing these things? And it just exposes a whole other level to it, because business never really ends. A lot of people think like, oh, I'll get here, I'll be happy. It's like, no. Now you got a team. Now you got other problems, right? There's always new problems that you got to smile
right.
and show up to solve. And that's what entrepreneurship is. But there's just different types of problems that you end up having. And so we wanted to kind of show, hey, and that's what, again, Elite is about. There's new problems when you're growing, when you're doing, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 bank products. There's different problems that you're now going to have in your business. And here's what we've done to kind of solve those problems for ourselves. And we just kind of teach that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, probably next year there'll be more info on helping you organize all the payouts to all your EROs.
Right.
We already give you some of it, but maybe we can help you a bit more.
Love it.
Awesome. So my last kind of section I always like to ask about is support. Do you want to share a little bit about your experience getting support with us? And I don't necessarily mean like the tech support in the software, but our actual SBA support platform where you go to open a ticket, get an eFINs unlocked, questions about the Service Bureau, all that kind of stuff. What's been your experience using our support platform?
She never uses our support.
I always use y'all support. No, I love the fact that I can get in there and I ask a question. I can get a response for like within an hour. You all are better than Chick-fil-A. I'm trying to see who
Ooh.
else. Who can I compare y'all to? The
Support
service is
better than Chick-fil-A. That's the
amazing.
clip there.
It's amazing. Better than Drake software. Y'all support is literally better than that. People reach out on time quickly. Not only that, I love when you all actually take the time out of everybody that you have to, who has access to you, to actually call and answer my question. It makes me feel like the things that are important to me are also important to you all as well, which I definitely do love. And then I guess it's an automation you all have in your system where they keep on saying, did you answer your question? Do you have any more to say? Like, I don't know, did that follow-up email that I never replied to?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because it makes me think, what else do I have to say? And I feel like you all are trying to anticipate my needs. So I appreciate it. I love the support part of SBA.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that part is automated. There's a couple of
Yeah,
reminders
I know.
making sure. There's one of the reasons, so it wasn't initially, but one of the reasons, like, I don't know, maybe it's a problem with me, but one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure it did that was like, and even sometimes the follow-up phone call even after, is because, I don't know, people are fucking weird with their emails. Sometimes they don't see them. So I'm like, well, how do we make sure they see it? Right? And it's just a kind of a problem that I have, that we made sure that follow-up, at least to close it out. Like, hey, if we answer your question, it's going to finally close after like 3 or 4 follow-ups. Because you never respond to them. So
We just always want to make sure.
yeah. Yep.
So one of my, actually, I've got two questions for you, and then Baldeep's got one to kind of wrap up the call. But looking into next year, right? I mean, we're coming up towards the tail end. We're recording now, like end of September. So we're in the tail end of this season. But for next year, what's something that you're most excited about for your service bureau business moving into next year?
One thing that I'm most excited about for my service bureau business is building, instead of just focusing on building wider, I am focusing on building deeper. I do care about developing the EROs that are under me, and I finally do. I have finally made the vision plain. The strategies or the things that I know work that are concrete and solidified and not reinvented. I finally made it plain, and I've been able to give it out to my EROs. So I'm most excited about them just actually taking the information and applying that information, because I have changed my business into a funnel for tax pros and EROs, and I've changed my EROs businesses into funnels for even more tax pros and EROs. So I just wanted to continue being a business that grows on itself, and that's the direction that it's going.
Nice. Nice. I love it. I love that. I love what you said there. Folks not being as not growing your business wider, but growing it deeper. And that, like, for if I can try to like translate that into like simple terms, a lot of, and I see this a lot, happens a lot, even in our program. But we'll go through the offers exercise, and people are like, well, here's a program for preparers, here's a program for EROs, here's a program for resellers. Then I want to build a service bureau, and it's like, that's building your business wide, where you're trying to blanket the whole industry. And it's
Or
very, very hard to do that, to take that really wide approach where you're just trying to build out, where you try to have like a product for every single person, versus focusing really deeply on one kind of type of your ideal customer, your main program, and just building deep, as in like increasing value at every opportunity and just developing it better and better, and just make your program the best freaking thing in the industry. That will attract more and more customers. And it's also going to help you streamline your business more efficiently, because now you're really just focused on one thing. You're just really building that depth. And then you can bring in team members to replace you in certain areas of the business, because it's not 40 different programs, right? You're really honing in on one thing. So I love that.
That was actually another training that you did that actually inspired me to finally lock in on my business as well. Like you said, everybody's focusing in on all parts of the tax industry. When I came into the training and you were explaining that one day, I think my business also grew from the fact that I got to focus my energy in one place, instead of, on this day I'm selling to the EROs. On this day I want P10 orders. I was just all over the place. So
Yeah,
yeah, now my message, my emails, everything is consistent and predictable, because I'm serving one audience.
exactly. And you only have
Yep.
one campaign to work on. You don't have like 20
Exactly.
different campaigns. Yeah,
It's always the same deal. So
yeah.
let's yeah,
Did you
much
see the
easier.
video I recorded in the Facebook group as well? Where it's like focus on one thing. It was it was like a few weeks ago. I posted
I
it there.
have to see, but I know it's when you say that, all I remember is your face, because I get the message from you. Focus on one thing, bring it down to one offer. And I was like, that does make sense. I am all over the place. So it was good
Awesome.
to realize.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. And my final question for you, any feedback or comments that you would like to give or like to share with anyone who's possibly looking at joining Service Bureau Accelerator?
Any feedback? The feedback that I have for anybody joining Service Bureau Accelerator is to take advantage of all the resources and the tools that you have available to you, because literally you won't get it anywhere else. Anywhere else. And you might think that, you might be chasing an end goal, a profit goal, and you might even think, you know what, let me go pay somebody thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get me there. And literally all of the tools and all the information is within the portal with SBA. So I would say to just go ahead and tap into what's available to you, because they made it available to you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Love it.
Now, one final thing from me. So, Ugonna, to the millions watching at home, they're watching this and they're like, hey, I want to work with you. How do they get in touch with you?
If you want to work with me, you can get in touch with me at Virtual Tax Boss Academy on Instagram. You can search me on Facebook at Virtual Tax Boss Academy, all the same /. And then you can also access my website at virtualtaxboss.com.
Ooh, all right. Awesome. Well,
Love
we'll
it.
go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for being here. We'll catch everyone on the next one.
All right. Thank you.